Now in this lesson, you're gonna learn how your open stance is restricting your turn and therefore it's killing your distance. You're gonna learn how the position of your trail shoulder is probably the reason you're coming over the top, and you're gonna learn how that bad ball position is keeping you from hitting that high launching drive that we all love. Now the best part is I'm gonna share with you my perfect setup template that's gonna get us dialed in and start hitting some high launching drives. Let's dive right into this. So I've got an alignment rod down right here. Now this is pointed down my target line or parallel to my target line. So if I have a stance that's open as a right-handed golfer, that means that my feet, my hips and my shoulders are pointed to the left of my intended target line. Now when I set up with my body open, that takes my shoulders and my body and it opens them up to the target line, which means it restricts my turn. I got Nick on the camera. Nick, give him a thumbs up. He's down the line. There we go. So when I'm open like this, even though if I make a turn, my length of swing is not very long because my body is open. If I take my stance and I square it up, and I turn the same amount, I now get more length and rotation relative to my target line. So the first thing you gotta check is that when you're set up, is make sure that your feet, your hips, and your shoulders are square to the target line. And if you have some limited mobility or flexibility and things like that, you might even close your stance a little bit. Matter of fact, it's one of the core concepts of the vertical line swing that we teach. It's in the Bad Lie, the book that we wrote. We actually promote and teach a slightly closed stance for our experienced golfers because it increases their rotation relative to the target line. So that's tip number one. Let's talk about the trail shoulder, and then we're going to talk about the template, the setup template that's going to get all this dialed in. Now the trail shoulder is another big thing you got to look for in the setup. A lot of amateur golfers, when they set up, their trail shoulder is higher than their lead shoulder. Okay, so I've got a right shoulder, a left shoulder, okay, or we might call trail and lead, okay? And if my right shoulder, my trail shoulder is higher than my lead shoulder, that's gonna set my swing to work two up and down and across. And that could be the main reason why you're coming over the top. So what you should be feeling, and what I want you to be looking for, is that when you're set in there, make sure that your lead shoulder is slightly higher than your trail shoulder. Now when I do this, okay, that's gonna help me hit up on the golf ball, and it's also going to close my shoulder slightly, see that? So this would be square, this would be open, this would be bad, we just learned that. Square, I want them to be slightly closed, but I also want my lead shoulder to be slightly higher. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit a shot, and then we're gonna talk about ball position. Now, I've got my launch monitor right here from Foresight to tell me if I'm hitting up on the golf ball. We're gonna talk about that. So here we go. I'm gonna take my lead shoulder, close it, raise it a little bit. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at the numbers right there. That felt pretty good. I launched it pretty nice and high. Angle of attack on that one was 4.6. Meaning I hit up on it 4.6 degrees. I don't want to brag, but that's ideal for me. I really like that because when you hit up on the golf ball, we get more distance. Now just for fun, let's tee up another one. Now to the best of my ability, I'm going to try not to cheat here, all right? I'm going to try not to cheat, but I'm going to get my shoulders in a poor position. And then let's put them in a poor position. Remember that poor position where the trail shoulder was high and the lead shoulder was low? Okay, now just for reference, that last ball carried about 240. Here's the bad setup. I'm gonna go open stance, trail shoulder high. All right, that was not a very good swing, but I don't know if Nick picked that one. Nick, did you pick? Okay, it was low and it was left, it was not very good. Launch angle on that was hardly, like a couple degrees. Everybody could see where that went. That was no good. Tip number two is make sure that your lead shoulder is a little bit higher and your shoulders are slightly closed. Let's talk about the third thing, ball position. You would think that ball position would be easy, right? Like, gosh darn it, Todd. Ball position is not a complicated thing. But remember, when we hit up on the golf ball, all things being equal, most golfers get more distance. They get a higher launch, less spin, more roll. So ball position is key. So a lot of golfers have the ball too far back. So it's back more in the middle of their stance. And when the ball's back, they're not able to hit up on the golf ball. So I want you to feel that the ball is forward. So where should it be? Well, let's take the alignment rod here and let's switch it. Here we go. So now we're going this way. But this last thing I want to give you here on the ball position is I want the ball to be towards your lead heel. Okay, so I got the ball towards my lead heel. That's going to help me hit up on the golf ball. So let's hit another one. Notice a slightly closed stance, one of the core concepts of the vertical line swing. Ball off the heel, shoulders in the right spot. Let's go ahead and swing it. Okay, that one felt good. I don't know, maybe leave in the comments, how's my swing looking? Listen, I can use some pointers every once in a while, and be sure to let us know where you're from. We love hearing where you're from. It's one of our favorite things to do, to hear from you and what's going on. All right, up on that, what did we have? Okay, 3.6. That's pretty good for me. I'll take that, 3.6. Carry on that one, about 240, 241 to be exact. That's not bad. With a little bit of rollout, that's probably 265, 270. I'll take that. I promised you this. The perfect setup template. Let's go through this and let's tie this all together. All right, so here's what you're gonna do. Let me move my alignment rod out of the way. We're gonna tie all this together. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna grip it with your lead hand only. So for me, that's my left hand. I'm gonna get my grip dialed in, all right? Then I'm gonna take my feet and I'm gonna put them together. Notice how my feet are together and I'm gripping it with just my lead hand. I'm gonna place the golf club behind the ball. And notice where my feet are at. The ball is right here, just off my lead foot. Okay, so I got gripping it in my lead hand only, my feet are together. The ball's off my lead foot. I'm gonna take a tiny step this way. See that? Tiny step, that gets the ball in the right spot. Remember, off my lead heel. Big step back, but also back and away from the target. See that? Back and a little bit away. And then the last part is tilt the shoulders. Let me do it again. So here we go, feet together, grip it, lead hand only. Ball just slightly in front of my foot. Mini step, step away and slightly back. Lead shoulder up, raise the handle. Nice big turn. Perfect. Nice high launch. I'll take that every single time. Your setup can really play a huge impact on how you swing the golf club. Now that we got you hitting the golf ball more solid, check out my next video. And if you want to personally work with us and my team on your golf game, check out VLScoaching.com.